Across the American plains, tornadoes form with little warning, columns of rotating air that can flatten entire towns in minutes. While hundreds occur each year, only a few have been captured in moments that reveal the full force of nature's extremes. This is a countdown of the 10 most shocking tornadoes ever caught on camera. Number 10. Madill, Oklahoma. On April 22, 2020, a line of severe storms moved through southern Oklahoma late in the afternoon. Just before 5 o'clock, one of those storms spawned a compact but violent tornado that tore directly through the town of Madill, about 100 miles south of Oklahoma City. The tornado formed suddenly on the outskirts of town and crossed Highway 99C at rush hour. In its short lifespan, it destroyed parts of an industrial district, tearing apart J&I manufacturing, damaging a Walmart supercenter, and downing major power lines. Footage taken by motorists and business security cameras captured swirling debris sweeping across parking lots and streets in seconds. Emergency managers reported at least 12 homes and businesses damaged, and more than 7,000 power outages across the region. 2 people were killed, including one found near a destroyed vehicle. For a community of only 4,000 residents, the losses were overwhelming. The American Red Cross quickly opened temporary shelters and provided hotel rooms for displaced families, while local volunteers distributed food to responders. Though brief, the Madill tornado illustrated how a relatively small system, lasting only minutes, can produce catastrophic local effects. Its video recordings have since been used in storm behavior studies to better understand how fast-moving tornadoes form and dissipate in low-visibility conditions. Number 9. Bassfield and Soso, Mississippi. Just days before Easter Sunday in April 2020, forecasters warned of a rare high-risk setup across the Deep South. By Easter afternoon, those warnings materialized into a chain of destructive tornadoes stretching from Texas to North Carolina. One of the most powerful struck Bassfield and Soso, Mississippi. It stayed on the ground for nearly 70 miles, with winds exceeding 190 miles per hour, an EF4 on the enhanced Fujita scale. The long track path shredded pine forests, flattened brick homes, and tossed vehicles and farm equipment across fields.
Time to go, time to go.
Because the event unfolded in the early weeks of the COVID-19 pandemic, many county shelters were either closed or operating at reduced capacity. Families faced an impossible choice between the threat of the virus and the immediate danger of the storm. After the skies cleared, entire communities emerged to scenes of complete devastation. Yet amid the wreckage, residents acted quickly. Neighbors organized search efforts before official crews arrived. Volunteer groups such as the Cajun Navy removed fallen trees, and local churches distributed water, food, and masks. In the days that followed, the National Weather Service confirmed that 2 separate long-track tornadoes had struck within half an hour of each other, both capable of EF4 damage. The Bassfield-Soso event became one of the defining moments of the 2020 Easter outbreak, remembered not only for its destruction, but for how communities adapted disaster response during an unprecedented public health crisis. Number 8. Pilger, Nebraska. On June 16, 2014, a supercell thunderstorm formed over northeastern Nebraska and produced one of the most unusual tornado events ever recorded. Just after 3:45 p.m., 2 large tornadoes touched down within minutes of each other from the same parent storm. They moved on parallel paths toward the town of Pilger, a community of fewer than 400 people. As the twin funnels approached, storm chasers and local residents captured extraordinary footage showing 2 fully developed tornadoes rotating side by side, a phenomenon so rare that it is still used in meteorology textbooks today. The larger of the 2, rated EF4, moved directly through Pilger, destroying nearly every structure in its path. Entire blocks were flattened, grain elevators and silos were crumpled into metal heaps, and trees were stripped bare. 2 people were killed and dozens were injured. Meteorologists later classified the event as an example of cyclical tornadogenesis, a process where a single supercell produces multiple tornadoes in succession as older circulations weaken and new ones form. For scientists, the Pilger storm provided unprecedented data on how these vortex families evolve and interact. Within a year, residents began rebuilding their town from the ground up. The local motto became Pilger, too tough to die, a phrase that still appears on signs throughout the community today. Number 7, Andover, Kansas. On April 26, 1991, an intense weather system spawned a series of powerful supercells across the central United States, producing 54 tornadoes across 6 states. Among them was one of the most violent and best documented tornadoes in modern history, the Andover, Kansas F5. The storm developed near Wichita, Kansas, late in the afternoon, and rapidly gained strength as it moved northeast. By 6:30 p.m., it had evolved into a massive wedge-shaped tornado, more than 1 mile wide, with winds estimated to exceed 260 miles per hour. The twister's immense size and slow forward motion meant that areas caught in its path endured prolonged, destructive winds. Its most devastating strike occurred when it tore through the Golden Spur Mobile Home Park on the outskirts of Andover. Within minutes, 205 homes were obliterated, leaving little more than debris scattered across bare foundations. Eyewitnesses described the area as unrecognizable. Andover's only outdoor warning siren failed, leaving residents to rely on television and radio alerts. Fortunately, continuous coverage by Wichita's KAKE-TV and other local broadcasters gave residents precious minutes to seek refuge. 17 people were killed, but hundreds more survived after sheltering in a community storm bunker that withstood the direct impact. In the aftermath, rescue crews worked through heavy rain and downed power lines to search for survivors into the night. The tornado's terrifying power was captured in one of the earliest and most widely circulated home videos of a major tornado. The Andover tornado transformed the way tornado warnings were communicated. Number 6, Jarrell, Texas. On May 27, 1997, an outbreak of severe weather swept through central Texas, spawning multiple tornadoes across Williamson and Travis counties. The most destructive struck the small town of Jarrell, about 40 miles north of Austin. Unlike most tornadoes that move quickly across the landscape, the Jarrell tornado crawled forward at just 10 miles per hour. That slow pace allowed it to linger over the same neighborhoods, intensifying the destruction. Within minutes, the twister reached F5 intensity, the highest possible rating on the Fujita scale, with winds estimated at over 260 miles per hour. The hardest hit area was the Double Creek Estates subdivision. There, homes were not simply destroyed, they were erased. Cars and trucks were tossed hundreds of yards, and pieces of them were later found wrapped around trees. In some locations, the soil itself was scoured several inches deep, leaving behind a stark, reddish scar visible from the air. A total of 27 people were killed, including several entire families who had taken shelter inside their homes. In all, 33 injuries were recorded across the region. The tornado's lethality was compounded by the lack of basements or community shelters in the area, and by the storm's unexpected change in direction as it strengthened. The Jarrell disaster led to sweeping reviews of warning systems in Texas. It reinforced the need for faster alert dissemination and for public education about sheltering options, particularly in mobile home communities. Number 5, Bridge Creek Moore, Oklahoma. On the evening of May 3, 1999, a powerful supercell formed southwest of Oklahoma City. At 6:23 p.m., it spawned a tornado near the town of Amber. Within minutes, the storm intensified into one of the most powerful tornadoes ever recorded. As it moved through Bridge Creek and into the southern suburbs of Oklahoma City, mobile Doppler radar registered winds of 321 miles per hour, the highest wind speed ever measured on Earth. The tornado maintained the ground for 85 minutes, carving a 38-mile track through Grady, McLean, Cleveland, and Oklahoma counties. The damage was staggering. Entire neighborhoods were obliterated. 8,132 homes, more than 1,000 apartments, and 260 businesses were destroyed. 36 people were killed, and over 580 others were injured. The estimated cost exceeded $1 billion, making it the first billion-dollar tornado disaster in U.S. history. In the midst of the event, the National Weather Service in Norman issued a new kind of alert, the first-ever tornado emergency. The phrase was used to convey the extreme danger facing densely populated areas directly in the tornado's path. This terminology has since become standard practice for high-impact events nationwide. Post-disaster investigations revealed widespread structural weaknesses in home construction, prompting changes to local building codes and the installation of thousands of residential storm shelters across Oklahoma. Number 4. Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Alabama. On April 27, 2011, one of the largest and most violent tornado outbreaks in U.S. history, later known as the 2011 super outbreak, unfolded across the southern and eastern United States. Among its 360 confirmed tornadoes, one stood out for both its scale and its visibility: the Tuscaloosa, Birmingham tornado. The storm began forming just before 5 p.m. in Greene County, Alabama, as a supercell thunderstorm moved northeast toward Tuscaloosa. Within minutes, a wedge-shaped tornado touched down and rapidly intensified into a high-end EF4, with estimated winds near 190 miles per hour. The funnel expanded to an extraordinary 1.5 miles wide, leveling everything in its path as it crossed neighborhoods, shopping districts, and major highways. As it tracked across Greene, Tuscaloosa, and Jefferson counties, the tornado stayed on the ground for over 80 miles, leaving behind a continuous trail of devastation. More than 1,500 people were injured, and 64 lives were lost, making it one of the deadliest single tornadoes of the 21st century. Television stations across Alabama broadcast live footage of the enormous funnel cloud as it entered Tuscaloosa. Viewers watched as entire blocks disappeared beneath a swirling debris field in real time. The aftermath revealed not only physical devastation, but deep social challenges. With $2.4 billion in damage, the Tuscaloosa, Birmingham tornado became one of the costliest in U.S. history. Thousands were displaced, and affordable housing shortages worsened during the years of rebuilding. In Tuscaloosa, large portions of the city had to be reconstructed from the ground up, while rural areas struggled for months to restore power and infrastructure. Number 3. Joplin, Missouri. On May 22, 2011, less than a month after the Alabama outbreak, the city of Joplin, Missouri faced one of the most catastrophic tornadoes in modern U.S. history. At 5:34 p.m., an EF5 tornado, nearly 3/4 of a mile wide, touched down on the western edge of the city and moved east across its downtown. Winds exceeded 200 miles per hour, and the storm stayed on the ground for 38 minutes, cutting a 22-mile path through densely populated neighborhoods.
It's behind him. Oh, good God. This is bad, really bad.
Jesus. That's a monster, this.
Oh,
Explosion.
oh my
Power
God.
flash.
The human toll was staggering. 158 people were killed, more than 1,150 injured, and thousands displaced. Nearly 7,500 homes were damaged or destroyed. Debris, more than 3 million cubic yards, covered the city. Damage reached $2.8 billion, making it, at the time, the costliest tornado in U.S. history. Footage from security cameras and residents' phones documented the storm as it engulfed entire neighborhoods in seconds, providing scientists and emergency planners with invaluable data on rapid tornado intensification. Recovery began almost immediately. Within hours, volunteers from across the region poured into Joplin to help locate survivors. Over the next several years, the city became a model for long-term disaster recovery. Number 2. Moore, Oklahoma. 14 years after the 1999 Bridge Creek Moore disaster, the same region was struck again, this time by another EF5 tornado. On May 20, 2013, a powerful supercell developed west of Newcastle, Oklahoma. By 2:45 p.m., the storm produced a tornado that rapidly intensified as it entered the city of Moore. Within minutes, it grew to 1.3 miles wide, with wind speeds estimated at 210 miles per hour. It remained on the ground for nearly 50 minutes, following a path eerily similar to the 1999 storm.
We're getting hit by stuff, and stuff might fall in the vehicle.
Entire subdivisions were leveled, and commercial areas were reduced to open fields of debris. 2 elementary schools, Plaza Towers and Briarwood, took direct hits during class hours. Teachers shielded their students with their bodies. Despite their efforts, 9 children lost their lives. The Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management reported 24 fatalities and more than 240 injuries, with 2,400 homes destroyed and roughly 10,000 people affected. Scientists later calculated that the storm released energy several hundred times greater than the Hiroshima atomic bomb, emphasizing the extreme power of tornadic supercells. The more tornadoes struck at the peak of the afternoon commute, yet the National Weather Service's 16-minute warning was credited with saving countless lives. In the aftermath, federal and state agencies funded major improvements to building codes, mandating safe rooms in all new public schools. Number 1. Reno, Oklahoma. On May 31, 2013, just 11 days after the Moore EF5, Oklahoma faced yet another extraordinary storm, one that would rewrite the record books and reshape the science of storm chasing forever. That evening, as thunderstorms developed west of Oklahoma City, a massive supercell began to spin near the small city of Reno. By 6:03 p.m., a tornado had formed on open farmland. Within minutes, it began to expand, and then kept expanding. At its peak, the Reno tornado reached an unprecedented 2.6 miles in width, making it the widest tornado ever recorded on Earth. Mobile Doppler radar measured winds of up to 296 miles per hour, rivaling the strongest tornado winds ever observed. Yet despite these extreme readings, the storm was rated only EF3, not because it was weak, but because it passed mostly over rural areas, leaving few structures behind to measure the true extent of its damage. What made Reno so dangerous was not just its strength, but its erratic behavior. The tornado repeatedly changed direction, first moving southeast, then suddenly veering east, then turning north. This unpredictable motion, combined with its immense size and heavy rain wrapping around the circulation, made it nearly impossible to see or escape. Eight people were killed that evening, including 3 members of the Twistex research team. They were among the most respected figures in the field, known for their contributions to tornado science and safety. Their deaths marked the first time professional storm chasers had been killed in the field, sending shockwaves through the meteorological community. The tragedy transformed storm chasing culture. In the years that followed, many teams adopted stricter safety protocols, greater reliance on radar data, and wider chase distances. The event also prompted renewed public awareness about the dangers of escape driving during tornado warnings, after thousands of panicked residents clogged Oklahoma City highways trying to flee the storm's projected path. Though it did not strike a major population center, the Reno tornado stands as one of the most scientifically significant storms in meteorological history. It reminded both researchers and the public that, despite decades of progress in forecasting and technology, nature still holds the power to surprise and to humble those who study it. From Madill to Reno, each of these tornadoes tells part of the same story of destruction, discovery, and determination. Every photograph, every frame of video, and every survivor's account helps scientists better understand how these storms form and how lives can be saved in their path. In Tornado Alley, the sky's fury is never far away, but so too is the strength to rebuild when it passes.